Hello, welcome to the Unlucky Frog Gaming Podcast. You're joined by your usual hosts here, Josh Hartley and Ben Porter.
Hello.
And we're joined here by Steve from Commonground Games. We're actually recording in Commonground Games right now. This is our first sort of field recording,
field
I guess.
Reporting now.
Yes. Yeah, we brought the Blue Yeti mic. It was all ready to go. We forgot the cable.
So it is completely useless.
Well, it's a paperweight.
In this instance, it is completely useless.
It's a nice table ornament.
Well, it's quite pretty.
It's
quite sleek. Nice retro.
Looks like a very good microphone too.
Yeah.
It
was. Yeah. It didn't cost us much or anything.
No.
So, we've been through here playing a bit of Shadespire. We've had a bit of a warm-up session for the organised play. That's going to start in February. Is that right?
In February the 11th, he says. Not 100% convinced.
Okay.
It's on our Facebook page. We're doing the Games Workshop 3-month organised play thing. It was meant to be starting this month, but it was meant to start today. But the organised play packs aren't getting sent out till February.
Mm-hmm. And what are players going to be able to pick up in these packs then?
Custom tokens.
Right.
I think that was the first thing, and then alternate art cards and other bits and bobs. But we're keeping track of each result from each one, and then at the end there's either a separate tournament at the very end where everyone is just battling for what looks to be a very nice glass trophy as part of the shade. Shard of the Shadespire.
There we go. Something to put on the mantelpiece, Ben.
Yeah.
Indeed, yeah. No, it looks nice.
Yeah.
So there's multiples like alternate art cards, tokens for your factions. If your faction is Stormcast or Khorne. And then and other things.
Neither of us are playing those warbands.
Yep.
I don't know that they've done specific ones for the others as yet.
Yeah. That might come later. Maybe if this is only going to be for 3 months, maybe whatever the next 3 months is.
Don't get your hopes up because they're always punting the Stormcast over everyone.
The Sigmarines.
Yeah, stuffing them down your throat.
Indeed. So, but it looks nice. So you get new cards, the new art and stuff. So
yeah,
it's fun.
It's a really fun game. We were saying when we were recording the previous episode, we're very impressed with the game so far. It's been really fun. It's been nice actually just to play against people who. I mean, we're working in a 2-person meta at the moment, me and Ben. So it's been nice to actually play against some different players. You know?
It's good.
So,
yeah, and I know you guys had a 4-way game this afternoon, so that would
big multiple. That was so much fun. Yeah. Although
me and Josh aren't friends anymore after that.
Oh yes, we are. You'll forgive me eventually.
Well, yeah, okay, maybe.
I mean,
I was personally surprised by how much fun it was too. Because when it first came out, I was like, oh, okay.
Okay, another Games Workshop thing.
And but when I sat down and had a game of it, I was like, oh my god, this is really good fun.
Yeah.
So, if you haven't tried it out, I highly recommend giving it a go.
We'll link to all the... we'll link to Commonground Games, so you'll be able to find the dates for all the Shadespire organised play off that, as well as the many multitude of games that you run. So for anyone who hasn't visited Commonground, what gets played here?
Games.
Everything.
I mean, that was a very open question. Yeah. Sorry, but
I can't think of anything we haven't run an event for. Saga, maybe we haven't.
Yeah.
And even Bolt Action, we've had a couple of things. There's not much we have not had in. Either we've been running it, or we've just been hosts for somebody else who's the organizer of the tournament, and we just pick up the slack so that they can just concentrate on the tournament.
Because I know a lot of the big mini war games, so your likes of your 40k, your Warhammer, your name some other ones, Ben. Your
War Machine,
there we go.
Boards,
X-Wing,
Runebound.
Oh, we were told to ask you: is X-Wing a board game or a war game, a miniatures game?
It depends who you talk to.
Yeah.
I would say it was a miniatures game myself.
Yeah,
but it's.
I think for it to be a board game, it has to have a dedicated board.
You think?
So take that, Dave.
Well, which it does have. I mean, you play it on a 3x3.
It comes with its own
not come
board.
with.
No,
So it's not a board
it's like a roll-up map.
Yeah.
Well,
But then, does Twilight Imperium come with a board game? Does Ascendancy?
I mean,
Star Trek Ascendancy?
this is it now. So, like,
Yeah.
what Catan is? Catan's just X's.
True.
You generate
that would
the
be a
board
board.
as you go.
Yeah.
It's like procedurally generated, I guess. If
And you do generate it prior to playing on
Yeah.
the board. So Carcassonne, I think, would be an interesting one. Because the board
yeah.
develops as you play.
Yeah, it's not really cards, is it? It's
The tiles.
It's like cardboard.
Yeah. But I mean, certainly all the major tournaments in Scotland for the sort of miniatures wargaming scene. You have events here for that. You run Magic the Gathering events, Pokemon the card game events. It's a pretty exhaustive list. Do you have role playing game groups come here as well?
We do have groups, nothing particularly organised. But there are groups who meet here. In fact, some groups even sit on the seats where the sofas
There we
were sitting
go.
on, so.
There we are.
So it's a living room that you don't have to tidy up at the end.
Just Steve will
That's
do
pretty
that for you.
Yeah, exactly. But no, we've got there's groups that meet regularly. There's groups that meet irregularly.
Disorganized play.
Yes,
Disorganised play.
So,
I am all about the disorganised play.
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, we're just a space for playing games, which we're open to all.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely.
And not only that, but you've got a pretty well stocked shop here as well. So
I like things. Yeah, I like a shop you can walk into and actually see things.
Yes, and it's just
We always walk out of here poorer in one sense and richer in the other.
there we go. There we go. I mean, we've just I've picked up Nomads, which caught my eye from the coverage of Essen.
Oh, yeah. That's the one, the campfire one.
Yeah.
That
It's a nice little compact box.
Yeah, no, that looks
do you know,
really good.
Such a petty thing, but I really like the design. The box is not your sort. It stands out as well, and the art style's great. And really looking forward to trying that. And Ben has picked up Fog of Love.
Fog of Love. Yeah.
Which
That's getting a lot of attention right now.
Yeah.
it's
really
people
is.
like the critics have been gushing over it,
Yeah.
and but if you like reading the sort of synopsis of it, it's a very unique thing for board games. I can't think of another game that simulates a human relationship quite like that. And
I do. So yeah, well, I'll definitely be interested in hearing what you think of.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to play through our relationship. Aren't we, Josh?
do you reckon one of the events might be the other betrays you at a game of Shadespire? And do you choose to be salty about it for the rest of the day?
Well,
the rest of the week?
We'll find out, won't we?
The rest of your life?
All of them.
How long then has Commonground been running for?
It will be 5 years in May.
Excellent. Have you got any?
Not feel that long.
No. It's kind of rocked up.
I remember watching it getting built
Oh yeah.
on Facebook.
Yeah, that feels like it took longer than we've been open. That was a Sisyphean task.
So the story behind the building's a bit interesting.
It was abandoned for 4 years, and then we got in as it was being renovated because guy who bought the building was renovating, and we came back from the States sort of July. I came to look at it in August, so we were able to get in as it was being rebuilt because it had been 4 years or
Yeah.
So it was in a heap, and it still had 8 rather mouldy snooker tables in the games room, which we had to get rid of.
Yeah.
So it was I think it was, we took 7 months because we did most of the work ourselves to
Yeah.
try and keep the price down, but it meant that the time frame was a bit longer than we were looking for.
Yeah.
But yeah, we eventually got open in May, and I was so frazzled at the time that I didn't realise it was May the 4th that we opened.
Oh, excellent!
So I was
Please
like,
tell me you had like an X-wing event or like.
honestly, I had no idea what was going. It was just, we need to be open by May.
Yeah.
It's like, this is insane. We were going to open in February, then it was March, then it was April. It has to be May.
Do you know what? I think that's the same story with anyone who's starting a business. You know, plans go awry, things that you don't foresee happening happen.
Well, I didn't want to open unready.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to be in a place where once we were open, we were functioning.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, all right, yeah, that's going to happen, and that's going to do this. So
Yeah.
and it takes a certain amount of time to build 5 rows of 20 by 4, 24 feet by 4 feet.
Yeah. So try
It
and
also takes a certain kind of person to undertake this sort of project. Some might say an enthusiastic person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
how did you end up in the sphere of tabletop gaming?
Just gaming wise, or doing this thing.
Oh, both, I guess. Yeah.
Well, let's start at the beginning. How
Let's
did you
go
end up
like
in
it.
gaming? Yeah.
I guess I started by building Airfix models and then going on to Maya models, and then going, I'm bored of tanks and other things, and then round about that time, because I used to live in Perth, so I used to go through to Glasgow every once in a while, and Virgin used to have these like fantasy figures from Citadel. I was like, so I just used to run back with whatever I could get my hands on and start painting up those, and then from there I went Games Workshop, and then, oh my god, look, it's a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so that just progressed, and then I just been in that since.
You don't have to put dates if you don't have to mention dates. Don't feel obliged.
So I've been doing that, and then just board games and all the rest of it. So
Yeah.
and then I spent 15 years of my life in the States, and I met a lot of people over there, and introduced a whole lot of other games and game shops. So
Well, if you don't mind me asking, where in the United States are you staying?
New York.
All right. Oh, New York City.
Yes. New York City.
Wow.
Yeah, so we were living in Brooklyn, but the club I was in was out of central Manhattan. But then we did a whole sort of tournament scenes as well.
Yes.
Once I started doing that, so I got to see other places, meet other people, play other things. So yeah, that was it. And then when we came back after 15 years over there, having gone for one, it was, we had a blank slate. We weren't coming back to anything.
Right.
We were simply coming back because our kids, one of them was at high school age, and
Yeah.
it was either we do high school there or we do high school here. We can't come back once he's in.
Yeah, and I suppose in the back of your mind, probably university tuition over in the United States is a little obscene.
It is, but that's what. But more importantly was the fact that our second child was 6 years younger. So once he was just leaving high school, she was just going in. It's like, okay, so that's another 12 years on top of 15.
Yeah.
So with a completely blank slate, my wife said, "What would you like to do?" And this sort of thing has always been in the back of my head, because I used to listen to podcasts, specifically the Bad Dice guys.
Yes.
So Jensen and Curry, and they actually interviewed the guys who ended up doing Maelstrom out of Mansfield. And
Yes.
just as they were getting that mill together, they were talking about the process, and I was like, "Oh, that's a good idea." Right. And I think that planted the seed. And then when we were coming back, I was like, "I want to do this. This is what I would like to do." We picked Stirling because initially when we come back, I was like, "Well, whatever I do, I can get to from Stirling." But then having picked Stirling and found this place, it was like, well, wherever, if we do it here, then everyone can get to Stirling really easily. So it made sense both ways.
I made a mental note to ask you about that actually, because am I right in saying, by the way, is this the largest venue of its type in Scotland?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I can't think of any off the top of my head either. So I was thinking, well, why is it not in Glasgow or Edinburgh? But it actually makes perfect sense to have it in Stirling, because
If you had it in Glasgow, you wouldn't get people from Edinburgh.
And
You had
vice
it in
versa.
Edinburgh, so,
and also Stirling's not too bad from people further north in the country to get
yeah,
to as well.
it's literally an hour.
Yeah.
I did a sort of map of an hour's drive, and it's like Dundee to south of Glasgow.
Yeah.
So it's like we get guys from there who come up. We get guys, so we are we're so central, and the rents are slightly cheaper than Glasgow and Edinburgh.
I can imagine, particularly Edinburgh.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, to have this space in either of those places, it would either be on the outskirts, in which case you're not getting, you're not city centre, so everyone's having to travel to you anyway, or you have it here and then you say, okay, look, we've got all you need around here. If you come for a weekend, there's hotels that are cheap.
Well, there's a travel lodge just down the road, right?
Yes, will be. It's not quite open yet.
Oh, is it not?
No, they've literally just
It
built
looks
that.
it looks
It's getting
pretty
there.
much open.
It's on its way.
It was meant to
there
be
we
open in
go.
December, but I
Right.
think they pushed it back. So I think February was its opening day.
See, it happens to everyone.
Exactly. Yes.
That's just construction.
Yeah.
Nothing finishes on time in construction.
No.
But no,
Speaking
so,
from
yeah.
experience.
Yes, yeah. There's someone on the inside of that. So,
Yeah, that's where this came from.
and 5 years later, we're sat here.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So, what have you got in mind for the future?
Well, I don't know. I would like to get another room here
Right.
because trying to find space to run everything that everyone wants to run
Yeah.
is now getting problematic.
Yeah. Right. I mean, today we've been here pretty much since midday. It's about 5 o'clock in the evening now. And it's been pretty full all day long. I mean, you've had a Pokemon pre-release today.
Yeah,
but
Netrunner. But I mean, today
yeah.
there was not much scheduled. Just our Netrunner and our Pokemon thing was that was the only scheduled thing. So everything else was great because everyone else is just dropping in.
Yeah.
But at the end of February, we've got 50 40k players coming,
Right.
which is just going to fill that room.
Yes.
Which means that we can't run any sort of card-based things. So if
Right.
we had space to do, so that really cuts down on the times we can run the Fantasy Flight games like X-Wing Armada or Netrunner or Game of Thrones, because they have windows that you have to.
They dictate when you can run
So
that.
it's a nice
organised
complaint to have in one
It's a
sense.
nice complaint to have. Yes, I'm running out.
We
of
have too
space.
many people.
It's always well. That's it. It's always the thing. It's a good problem to have being too busy.
Yeah, yeah.
But so you're thinking of maybe. I mean, is there any more room at the end?
Well,
Like-
no, not here.
That's
Not-
the problem.
Not on this level. But
Right.
there is mutterings. There might be something opening. There might be a chance.
There we go. If it's something that you could tell me, but you'd have to kill me, I'd rather
No,
not die.
it's- no.
So
It's just sort of. It's nothing but a rumor right now.
Sure.
So if it happens, we'll see.
watch this space.
Rumour, everybody.
Yeah.
Watch this space,
Rumour.
folks. So, what have you been playing recently yourself then?
Destiny and Armada are the two I'm getting most.
That's Star Wars, yeah.
Star Wars Destiny is the,
Yeah.
is the dice and card game, which is fantastic, and Armada is the proper spaceship game.
This is oh, but this
sorry.
is yeah. So this is the are the rules even remotely similar to X-Wing though?
Oh,
I mean,
Armada?
no.
Is it,
Like,
so,
because
I
that's
think
it. It's
X-Wings like dogfights, isn't it? Whereas,
Yeah, I mean, X-Wing's really good for what it is, but, because it's the pilot skills, you move up through movement and down through shooting.
Yeah.
So you always know who's moving first and who's shooting first.
Yeah.
Whereas Armada, you have one player that plays everything first, But when it comes to what ship or what squadron they activate, it's entirely up to them.
Okay.
Right.
So it's a bit more of a sort of chess game where you're trying to get things in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the allegory I always tell people is it's very akin to Napoleonic naval warfare, where it's all about the movement to bring the correct things to smash up, but it took you a while to get there, and it's the way you activate is equally as important to what you're activating. Because unlike a lot of other games, you shoot before you move. So yeah.
So you kind of have to try. You have to try and plan one turn ahead. Then
Yeah.
I need to get to this space so that next turn I can shoot that thing.
Usually, if that's in a game, it's a special rule unique to certain units. I think in Warmer Hordes, you've got the Bushwhacker rule.
Right.
So it's like, but it's only as certain units they get to shoot and then run away.
Yeah. No, this one everyone.
Yeah.
So you might have long range shot on somebody. So you sort of go, okay, do I want to take that? Because then I have to move, and now suddenly I'm into like medium range. So they're getting more dice back at me than I'm getting at them.
Yeah.
And so it's right. I'll just move this one then. And then it's sort of like, okay, I'll move this one.
Everyone's being really coy right at the start, and then one person pushes it a little too far, and it just collapses.
It sounds familiar, Josh.
No, so I definitely, that's one of my favourite.
They're the itch you're scratching currently. Yeah. I'll have to try the Star Wars Destiny out as well.
Destiny is a blast.
Yeah, there were some guys playing it today, weren't there? Like it looked really casually sort of looking over my shoulder, trying to look inconspicuous, and it looked really interesting.
Huge amounts of dice.
Yeah,
it's not really. I mean, we have lots of dice. Because it's a collectible one, so you buy just blind boosters, but no, I mean actual dice you would use because it's a 30-card deck, of which you can have 2 copies.
I just saw the
case.
Grief, that is a lot of dice.
This was like
I like chunky dice though.
I'm picturing basically, the suitcase in Pulp Fiction. This is what's it. Like, open it up and that's it. It's all this it's dice for Star Wars Destiny.
Yeah. No, but it's such a good game. You can play either a full on aggro deck where you're just throwing weapons at your characters and just trying to kill somebody as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Or you can play theme or you play and because it's dice, you're never that consistent.
Yeah.
So it really flattens out the sort of you're not going to win by spending masses of money.
It's not formulaic.
Yeah,
because you get the element of chance.
There's a great
there's ways of manipulating chance.
Yeah,
like you can get cards that manipulate the dice, or you get other dice that manipulate them. But it all takes time because it's like basically I do something, you do something, I do something, you do. So even if I roll masses of damage, it's unlikely I will be able to do all that damage immediately.
Yeah.
So you always feel like you're in it, and there's always cards that you can just take other dice off the table. And you're like,
Is this Fantasy Flight then that have? I think they do all the Star Wars license stuff, don't they?
Their big one pushing this year is Star Wars Legion.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try it. I don't know if I can afford to commit to another miniatures game though.
Well, we've got the Game of Thrones based miniatures game coming out later this year as well.
Nice. Yeah, I saw that. It was a Kickstarter, wasn't it?
Yeah, you didn't sound so enthusiastic there.
It was cool. Well, it was Cool Mini or Not.
It was Cool Mini or Not.
Which are getting a little bit.
We've been having
which you would have thought by all this time would not have to kickstart their new project.
Well, this is. This is a discussion we're probably going to have at a later recording. But one of the earliest episodes we did, we were talking about the pros and cons of Kickstarter. But since we've done that, it's becoming quite evident that and it's not just Cool Mini or Not. There are a few other companies out there that we feel are probably a little too big for Kickstarter, and that's not really what Kickstarter is supposed to be about or what it's trying to sell.
They use it as a shop window,
as
a sort of window to get their game out there. But what I have found is that everyone gets what they want on Kickstarter. So no shops get it in because what's the point?
Yeah.
Everyone's got what they got, and usually for like peanuts.
It's counterintuitive to the whole tabletop thing because in bypassing the retailers.
But you don't get a community, so the
exactly.
games never grow.
So what's the
they're
point
not
of
in
you?
the shop.
You've got this really nice big game with all the miniatures, and no one to play it with.
Yeah.
We provide a space for a community to grow, and a lot of other companies have recognised that and tend to not block out web only. I mean, some people do. Games Workshop changed their terms and conditions that you had to have a space.
You have to have a bricks and mortar
Privateer
store.
Press have always said you have to have a brick and mortar space to get their stuff. And a lot of other ones are doing, like Fantasy Flight Games don't stop online discounters, but they don't get as good a discount as, so they don't have the same wiggle room to sort of massively undercut.
Yeah.
To be fair, that I do know that quite a lot of the Kickstarters do retailer pledges, which I think is a good thing.
It is, and to be honest, I did one with TT. I backed Carnival to the hilt. So.
Yeah.
But I think that has the potential to be a really big game. And I think TT, because they only have like 2 or 3 games, are not going to drop the ball and just move on to the next thing.
Yeah, they're going to keep trying. They're going to try and foster that. And
because
grow
at that point they had Rumble Slam and they had Carnival. They've since
Rumble
bought,
Slam's the wrestling game, isn't it?
the fantasy wrestling game, which is getting really good feedback. So
Yeah.
Carnival, the models just looked amazing, and it had existed before, so there was a sort of background community there.
Yeah, the people who had a vested interest already. Yeah.
But I think that it will springboard because they've streamlined the rules, because the rules were like, but they've since joined up with Hawk, so now they're doing Drop Zone and Drop Fleet. So
Yeah, Drop Zone's been going for quite a while now. I vaguely remember that just getting launched a few years ago. Yeah.
I first met them with the first Carnade I went to, and that was 2 or 3. Well, as a shop, I went to the first one just after we opened.
Yeah.
Can't remember them being there. So yeah, they're about 4 or 5 years, and we've always, no, it must have been before because I had them in the shop when we came here, so I must have met them there. But yeah, it's always been. It's a good game. It's well designed, but it's always kind of suffered from just being that sort of level below, sort of exploding.
Yeah.
People play it, but not enough people play it to sort of snowball into a critical mass.
It's really difficult, though. I mean, certainly with the miniatures games being so dominated by 40k.
Now,
And, I mean, some games have got somewhere with it.
Well, yeah, I don't think they're quite as dominant as they were.
No, not where they were like 15 years ago.
Privateer Press are huge. Fantasy Flight have now stepped fully into the miniatures gaming
yes,
ring.
which better pay off for them.
Yeah,
because I'll not forgive them if Star Wars Legions fails, which I don't think it will, because it looks gorgeous and it seems to play. But I think that's the reason they and Games Workshop fell out.
Parted ways.
Yeah.
And if somebody had told me that you could have Star Wars Legions or you could have 40k Destiny, I'm not sure what I would have chosen. Because, it broke my heart to see that Dice Masters were bringing out 40k Dice Masters. I was like, that could have been 40k Destiny. That would have been amazing. But there you go. Such is life.
Yeah.
So having seen Legions, I'm well interested in it.
Because it also uses cards, doesn't it?
Well, it uses cards in the same way Armada and X-Wing use cards. Right. You upgrade units.
Yeah.
And so you'll have presumably command options, or you have upgrade weapons that you can buy. So while each unit will be the same looking, they will have different sort of. And I know you just flicking through the Stormtroopers expansion that's coming. you can add a rocket launcher, or you could have a heavy machine gun. You know, so it's like
Yeah.
you know which way are you going to go, and which way does it go?
I just really want to play Darth Vader and get him in amongst the rebels.
See, I didn't want to do that. I just want hundreds of stormtroopers, which I may not want after painting 21 of them. But
Yeah,
White-
I mean,
white
at least,
undercoat,
I was just going to say,
everywhere.
white, black detail, job's a good one, right?
yeah, that's what it sounds like, right?
Yeah. We
Dead
had,
easy.
we were going down to a tournament in Warhammer World in Nottingham. This was a Warhammer Fantasy tournament, and one of our friends, Simon, shout out Simon if you're listening, he ran a Night Goblin army. And no word of a lie, I think he painted 120 Night Goblins in the space of about 3 or 4
He
days.
was deranged after it.
Oh, 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I think I think he was still painting them right before, like right up until the tournament started. He was. He had got to that moment where someone's been deprived of so much sleep, they're a little delirious.
But they're one of those armies, Night Goblins, that even if you paint them quite basic, it's just impressive to see
like
100 goblins
yeah.
on a table. And I think it's probably going to be same with like the Stormtrooper armies in Legion.
I once knew somebody who painted 1001 Noblars.
Noblars.
That was
Why?
Literally, his entire army was 1001 Noblars.
Noblars, by the way, who for people who didn't play Warhammer Fantasy, Noblars were part of the Ogre army. And did anyone run them?
They were 2 points. No.
No.
Well, trappers.
I was going to say the trappers were somewhat
But
useful.
because they had sharp stuff,
Yeah.
and like everyone could throw.
Yeah.
But there was just so many of them, nobody cared, and they were large and insignificant, so they caused no panic at all.
Yeah.
So you could wipe them out and just cause no panic. His display board was literally 6 foot by 1 foot piece of wood, and that was his deployment.
I mean,
Shout out Nadal.
so Nadal, who decided to paint that many Noblars,
He didn't do it himself.
who hurt you?
He did get help, but it was hilarious. It was actually hilarious.
I remember Andy Russell. Shout out Andy Russell. A lot of shout outs
Yeah.
in this episode.
We're going to call this episode Shout Out.
Andy Russell told me that he knew a guy that had an ogre army, but he just used early learning center animals.
Right. Yeah.
So he had like a cow with like stripes on it. So that's the saber tusk.
Oh no! Why? Why?
So, which is either hilarious or just demoralizing if you are someone like Simon, who's spent the last 3 days painting hundreds of goblins.
Bloodshot eyes. I'll say this, right? The sort of delirious state that he was in made him a very appropriate general for a goblin army.
Yes, I should imagine him red eyes at the end of it.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, then what events have you got coming up over 2018? It feels weird saying that, but like,
well, we've got the 40k Dark Millennium. It's our fifth one. Liam is running. Mm-hmm. It's probably going to be our biggest individual one. It's got 50 people signed up for it.
yeah, excellent.
Other sort of notable ones, we've got the Armada and the Destiny Regional. Mm-hmm. So Destiny Regional is 18th of next month, 18th of February. Mm-hmm. And Armada is March 4th, I think. Mm-hmm. Other notable ones, Scotland is hosting the Age of Sigmar Six Nations in July.
Awesome. I really like the sound of that.
Yeah, so we'll have teams from England, Wales, Ireland, and France, I think is the other one. I don't remember. So that's coming, and I mean, we've got, our Age of Sigmar tournament scene has taken off the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. When it first came out, to be honest, it was like the same 16 people. Mm-hmm. But now we're running 2 days, 40 plus, 30 plus, 40 plus.
That's fantastic. Players.
Yeah, so definitely that's going from strength to strength. Mm-hmm. We've got a bunch of 1 dayers, a bunch of 2 dayers. Mm-hmm. We've got 40k. We've got like all the Fantasy Flight games we do.
Yeah.
If I ever actually finish my Fire Slayers, I'll need to come along to an Age of Sigmar tournament.
Yeah, no, definitely. There's a new one coming up. In I should have had my phone out going. All right, so I think it's May. There's a whole new one. The Howling's coming back. Northern Invasion is going to 2 days because it's so big and popular.
Yeah.
We've got a bunch of 40k things. I mean, it's just like I say, we struggle to find space. For everything, so.
Yeah.
But we try and accommodate everything.
Excellent. And if our listeners want to get in touch, what's the best way of
phone the shop.
Yeah.
The number's on Facebook, through Facebook, or email, info@commongroundgames.co.uk. It's all one word. Or Facebook Messenger. But like us on Facebook, follow us on the website's got an events page which has the calendar with mostly if I get to it.
Yes.
Up to date. It's up to date right now.
Yes.
So
there we go.
So check those out, and if people supply us with links, the links are on the thing. That'll take you to the page with any details.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's the best way.
Well, thanks very much for coming on the show, and thank you for having us through here for like I say, our first field trip of the podcast, first of many.
It's a more civilized field, I hope.
Yeah, it is most definitely civilized. But guys, thanks very much for listening, and we'll catch up with you next time. Take care.
Bye.
Hi guys, it's Josh from the Unlucky Frog Gaming Podcast here. Thanks for listening to us, and now be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search for the Unlucky Frog Gaming. You can also show your support for Unlucky Frog through Pod Pledge and Patreon. Be sure to check out our website www.unluckyfrog.com to find out more.
Was that so hard?
Look,